Chill. I watching this shit, Black Fatigue, Myron Gaines. This guy's kind of like a male troll or some shit, you know. I don't even know enough information about him. But I've been seeing people debate him or something. I don't know.
Like, what would you think? Like, will be the next steps? Because I do want to hear this.
I think we need to bring back the father. I think we need
Agree.
to curb our women. I think black women are incredibly masculine, rude. They don't respect male authority, and a big part of that is because they grow up in fatherless households. So I think once we bring the father back into the household and we bring the nuclear family back, that's going to fix a lot of the problems because single mother households are one of the predominant reasons as to degeneracy. Sean, how much more time we got? 20 minutes? All right. Go on, bro.
I appreciate you, Myron. My name is Marcel. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
What's that, Marcel?
All right. So with the builder, so I got to disagree with you, man. I'm
Sure.
so sorry. I'm with academics on this.
Okay.
Like, I feel like your point, as far as like, I get what you're saying. You know, if the video is right,
Is it echoing
you
anymore?
might be right. But just giving off his history, I don't think is gonna go look out for him, especially with Axe point of the portion of force. Like, if you punch somebody, normal circumstances, everybody's gonna punch back or run away. He shot someone. That's why he crossed the line. So for me, I'm just like, I don't think he's gonna get out.
So you made two arguments there. One argument on proportionality, and then the other argument on prior behavior.
Yeah.
Okay. So the prior behavior, is it going to really matter so much?
I think so. Well, here's the thing.
Is this better?
Force, like when it comes to use of force, they're going to look at that particular instant.
Is there any echo anymore?
Etc.
Going to really come into it now. If
It's way worse. Okay. Why is it bruh, why the fuck is my okay, how about now? Does it sound better now? Is it better now? Can you hear? Okay. Let's play the video. I just hope there's no echo.
he was the antagonizer, of course, yeah. But the reality is that this guy, Fox, was the antagonizer. And if we're going to go ahead and compare histories, Fox has a very lengthy criminal history. Try to burn a house down, try to, get his kid killed in there. So I would argue that it's probably in the prosecution's best interest to not try to bring up Chud's past, because if they do, then the defense can absolutely bring in Fox's past. And then if they bring him in, he's going to have to probably testify Fox as the star witness for the prosecution, and he's going to get absolutely eaten up on the stand. So I don't think it's in the prosecution's best interest to bring up prior stuff, and I think it's going to be very limited if they do. Because again, just because you're a bad person, right, morally, or you might not agree.
I think this nigga is talking about Chud the Builder, the butler, that racist guy on Twitter that was calling everybody the N-word, like saying nigga with the ER or type shit. I think that's what they're talking about, but I don't know too much about this guy's.
With their politics doesn't mean that that individual doesn't have the right to defend themselves when they're being attacked, which in this case, I think we can both agree that Joshua Fox was the aggressor and closed.
This nigga just said Jason Love. Why is he thinking about Jason Love? That's kind of crazy. I'm just pointing it out. I'm just a messenger. Hey.
The distance, so therefore I said Jason Love for a second. Joshua Fox. Sorry, just another guy. Sorry. Yeah.
You see how he paused and thought about it more? He's thinking about other black men, and he says just another black guy. Isn't that that's kind of weird? You niggas that watch him, isn't that weird as fuck? Don't shoot the messenger.
Well, I got to do an interview with him too, so that's another thing too. I said, well, Adam, yeah, we got to work. Yeah. See, I was already thinking ahead to the next interview. What was I gonna say? But yeah, so with Josh Fox, what ended up happening basically was he closed the distance, so he's the aggressor. Now, the other argument made was proportionality, right? So when it comes to proportionality, let me ask you this: if a woman is being raped, can she use deadly force?
Yeah, but that's come on,
okay.
That's a different gender. Come on, if a man punches me, I'm gonna punch back. Now, even if I had a firearm, right, most men is probably going to punch back. They don't want to use the firearm unless
Fair.
I really have to.
Okay, now here's the thing. What if an MMA fighter punches you?
Well, he's going to jail because like
No, but like no. But see where I'm doing with the logic here?
No. But even still, anybody in the right mind wouldn't mess anybody with a cauliflower ear. Come on now.
No. But the point,
Even still, why are you antagonizing someone else? Why are you antagonizing
bro. No. The guy antagonized him, dude.
No.
Yeah.
I'm saying in this case, but like if you even prior to this history, we knew eventually something gonna happen. Come on, bro. He's antagonizing black people.
Yeah, but that doesn't justify it, bro. Like, see, what you're basically doing.
But all right, hold on. No. So, no, pause. Because we see in the real world with anti-Sism, right? We criticize. No, pause. Because remember what Axe said.
Yeah.
You criticize, right?
Yep.
And what their response? Put you on a bomb and put you on Gaza, right?
Sure.
Now you can say that's unethical. No, you can say that's unethical.
No,
right?
I'm saying it's not analogous whatsoever to the example.
No, but what I'm saying is unethical. It's unethical as far as like the like me, if I say something doesn't mean go do this drastic thing. Like if I punch you doesn't mean grab gun. That's drastic.
Okay, so let me so let's go back, guys. Let me Don't worry about them, bro. Don't worry about them. Because you're making an argument, guys. Leave them. You're making an argument about proportionality, and that's fair. What I'm arguing with you is that like proportionality is based on the circumstances. So like proportionality can always change. Like you're making an argument like, someone punched you, that doesn't justify you to shoot them.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's aggravating factors that can easily escalate. Zimmerman, for example, he was being punched by Trayvon.
No. With that, I understand. No, listen, with that, doesn't understand. He has proof of I've been damaged. He's been beating me. Whatever.
Yeah, but you don't have to wait until you're getting your ass whooped to use deadly force, bro. You don't have to like get your head bashed and all this other stuff. You can use if you have reasonable belief that you are going to be the victim of death and or serious bodily injury, you can use deadly force, man. Now again, and then in a state like Tennessee, you don't have a duty to retreat. Now when it comes to proportionality, the reason why I asked you is if a woman is being raped, can she use deadly force?
America is so weird because each state has a different rule for like firearms, shooting, felons, and all types of shit. It's just a clusterfuck. I don't even know Tennessee what rules they don't specify for us. Like so, people from other countries when they watch this kind of shit, it's like, what even the fuck is going on in America? To be honest.
Force. If you're being strangled, can use deadly force. What I'm trying to argue is that your hands can be looked at as a deadly weapon because your argument is like, proportionality. I'm making an argument. Well, if you're gonna go strictly hand to gun, sure. But what if it's an MMA fighter? What if it's a trained fighter? He punches you. Well, guess what? If an MMA fighter punched you, you would be justified in pulling out a gun and shooting him because he's trained. Yeah, he's trained. But what I'm trying to say is that there's aggravating factors where proportionality can be met even though someone has a deadlier weapon. So I'll give you the example. Earlier I gave the example where they were going to the ground as an armed individual while being in a headlock. These are all aggravating circumstances that will increase the likelihood and or the justification of using deadly force. And again, me and you can't really Monday morning quarterback it. We don't know. This guy comes up to him saying, I got PTSD. I'm a veteran. You can make off that. Okay, this guy's kind of crazy. And then he goes ahead and then he punches you after you said a word. And then after that, you go to the ground and he might have been touching his gun. He might have been saying, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to get you. Blah, blah, blah. All of these different things are going to play into his mind. This is why Kyle Rittenhouse was able to walk. He took the stand. And when he took the stand, he was able to illustrate in excruciating detail precisely what was going through his mind. Because if you remember, those guys didn't have guns either. Some dude came running at him with a skateboard. Another dude was just coming with open fist. But he was able to articulate, even though I had an AR-15, and this dude's coming at me with a skateboard, and this dude's coming with a fist, I can articulate that I'm in a dangerous, vulnerable position. And though the proportionality technically is not the same, I can use deadly force.
No, I understand. Two people, with deadly forces. All right.
But what I'm saying is like proportionality can, regardless of like one person has this weapon and this other person has another weapon, that's not just the only metric of what defines proportionality is my point.
All right, got you. All right, that was my only thing with that. So my original point when I originally came up here for, my bad. So
you still think is like didn't have a right to self-defense here, given all the facts that I described before?
No. If everything
you don't have to like him, bro.
No.
You don't have to like him.
No, I haven't seen the video because I know the video's gone. If I'm not mistaken,
they played a part. They played a part of the surveillance video, but there is a pump fund video from him streaming.
Yeah, that's what
where
I'm
he gets
talking about.
punched.
I haven't seen that, so I want that to come out. Then I can make my judgment because I know when.
Let's assume with the fact pattern that I gave you that they played in court, that the investigator testified.
If everything's saying what you're saying is right, but I need to see the video first.
Okay, so based on the fact pattern I gave, would you say he acted in a reasonable fashion?
Yeah, on the back.
Okay, fair.
On the fact pattern.
Fair.
But
and I appreciate that you don't like him and you don't agree, but like you can be impartial, and be like, you know what, I don't like this. You know what, this dude Joshua Fox is doing crazy shit.
Yeah, also too, I'm gonna wait till the evidence, of course, to see the video. But my original point where I really came up here to talk about, because I'm not gonna lie, bro, I mess with you, but I feel like your take on culture is disingenuous.
Sure, go ahead.
Now hear me out. I feel
Go ahead.
like as people, right? Like the stereotypes and all that stuff like that. But there's been history of why we're in the position that we're in. Like we have tried to build economic wealth through our our towns and stuff, but they've been burnt down. We have tried to like we have to fight for civil rights. That sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to do these things to get to where we are. So like also too, there's still people that's still living from those days. So I don't expect a turnover to come through now. Like I see slowly but surely, I feel like our people are getting better, but I feel like sometimes you don't acknowledge the history before.
Okay, and thank you for the opportunity to give you my side. I actually do acknowledge the history. I understand. I've said this before. I understand that there was a period in the United States where people weren't being treated fairly. There was not an equality of opportunity. There were obviously great disparities. But one thing I point out to is that people were actually doing pretty well when they were the.
He said that there was a time where people weren't treated fairly. Aren't people still not treated fairly due to ICE? I guess I don't know, man.
Most ostracized, the most, oppressed. If you look at Wall Street, pre-civil rights era, etc., it forced people to, here's my argument. It forced them to work together and stay in their own communities, and most importantly, the father was in the home. One of the biggest issues with the black community is that the father's not in the home, and that creates a lot of the other issues that come after the fact. Now, with that said, I'm not going to sit here and say that there weren't injustices, that there weren't things, but my argument now is that, racism, right, and the things of the past are no longer barriers to people to become successful. And I would argue that we've gotten to a point now where
That's true to an extent.
people have more opportunities now than ever before. We have only scholarships. We have historically colleges. We have opportunities that people have that white people don't. There's loans that are given to people that are minorities to buy a home on a first-time home buyer basis. None of these things are afforded to white men at all. So my thing is, I'm just saying is that there's no longer excuses to not be successful in America. And there's plenty of immigrants that come here from African countries that do fine, where they can also look at it like they're looked at as like blacks compared to other people. They might not even speak the language. They don't have the status, but they're still able to make it. So my criticism when it comes to Americans is they use the civil rights era and racism and white supremacy way too much as to their failures. That's my argument.
Okay, my pushback to that is I don't think we use it as an excuse. It's just that, like, for example, you say like white supremacy doesn't exist, right? Now, I don't think it doesn't exist how it used to be.
I didn't say it didn't exist. I said I said it's not to the point. It's no longer a barrier to your success. I mean, we had some weird skinhead guy that's a part.
Yeah.
An actor earlier, yeah. And he was trying to say like, I was like, no, white supremacy, because he was like, I'm here. I was like, yeah, it exists, but you guys are insignificant.
Yeah. No, I understand that. Well, yeah, I was saying there is significant now, but I'm saying like it's still there, but it's not like invisibly in our faces, right? It's secretly like behind the door.
In other words, age of 47 can't keep you from success. You're a pretty smart guy. We've been having a fantastic conversation here, even though we disagree. Mm-hmm. Like he's not impeded your ability to educate yourself and be smarter.
Yeah, which is why like I need to get on your platform, because even just not for me, I want people just to hear this. Like really educate yourself on the history of our people in America, because it will teach you everything what's going on right now. Literally, it will teach you everything.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with understanding that history. And again, like I said before, like, look, I've read, the autobiography of Malcolm X. I've studied the civil rights era. I'm completely sensitive and understand that. My argument is that is no longer a viable excuse to not be successful as a man in America.
So what would you say what we need to do in your opinion? Like what would you think like will be the next steps? Because I do want to hear this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think we need to bring back the father, right? I think we need to curb our I think are incredibly masculine, rude. They don't respect male authority, and a big part of that is because they grow up in fatherless households. So I think once we bring the father back into the household and we bring the nuclear family back, that's going to fix a lot of the problems, because single mother households are one of the predominant reasons as to degeneracy. I think also we need to stop, right? How to say this? We need to stop where it's like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and promote like degenerate gang culture. Let's promote being uneducated. Let's promote like not being intelligent. Like for example, I guarantee, did you go to like a majority school?
Yeah,
growing up, you did?
Yeah,
okay, great. You're a smarter guy. Let me tell you this, and I'm sure you probably went through this when you were growing up. If you got a good score, if you did well, you had good grades or whatever, right? And if you went to inner city school, what do they more than likely do? Oh, you a smart, you a nerd, you a loser, blah blah blah. We don't promote intelligence in our community at all. We promote degeneracy. If you're not going to play in the NBA, you're not going to be an athlete. You're not going to be a rapper.
That's true to some extent, but it happens in both the white and black culture, so it's kind of like a touchy subject as of date. Anyway.
You're not going to sell drugs. Thank you so much, guys in the back. Like, this is a problem in our community. I remember growing up, because I went to an inner city school too. If you had good grades, they look at you like, what the fuck, you a lame. So we need to go back to like promoting like not being in. Because like when I went to college, right, and I was around a bunch of white people, if you got a bad grade, what the fuck, failed? Like they'd shame you for being stupid. But on the other hand, in the community, we shame them for being smart. So, and then the rap music, the culture, the materialism, the drawn, let's buy it, which leads to a lot of the violent crime because they want to get Jordans and be fresh. So I think all of these things are things we need to focus on and work on. But to bring this out, right, and I'm glad I can have this conversation with you, they'll call me a coon or Uncle Tom or whatever, but these are real problems in our community.
No, which I agree. The family dynamic, it helps everything because they're the people. But I think the problem is we have generational trauma. I think we're still infected, bro, because we still people from them generations. They're still in that mindset of, the fear of the white man, right? So I feel like once our generation, like, the young people like me, I'm 24, once we get over that hump and really educate ourselves, we'll be better in the long road with our family, educating our fellow, even people like us, like here right now, just educate our own people, just, hey, be more knowledgeable, be more, better than the stereotype, grow more than the stereotype. Even with our culture, every culture got degeneracy, but it's don't promote the degeneracy all the time. Yeah, like.
But the problem is that like that's the cornerstone of our culture, right? That's like the cornerstone of our culture. You look at someone like Vlad, right, or Adam 22. We mentioned that before. Like they'll sit there and they'll criticize him and they'll say he's a culture vulture because he's over here like breaking down rap music. Well, what are they talking about in that rap music? They're talking about killing, ops, degeneracy, and all this other. Like the things that we promote and the things that we encourage, like are the things that like hurt the community, but that's what's profitable. And like I would argue, like within the black community, we're like the main group of people that openly and brazenly promote degeneracy. And then the whole thing with the white supremacy thing, and you said like be scared of white people. I would argue that white people aren't a danger to blacks at all. If anything, most white people are like not really as much as people think.
Which is why I put that.
But here you could say that, but like realistically speaking, who are you more likely to be killed by? You're gonna more likely be killed by someone that looks like you, bro. White people aren't gonna kill you. Yeah. So and these are the tough conversations that people don't want to have because unfortunately, a lot of people are emotional, right? They have these issues or whatever. Me and you are having a coherent, good conversation, though we might disagree on some things. But whenever I talk with a lot of people, whatever, like the builder thing, I give them the fact pattern and be like, well, I don't care because I hate the blah blah.
Which is why I said like from just that situation, if you're right, you got it. Because if the video, what you're saying, if he antagonized, but it's just like given just off his history, given I haven't seen the video yet, and I want to see when it comes out, I just don't trust his.
Sure. But the detective even testified to this, and he did show the surveillance footage on there. But again, I think these are the problems with the black community, and I'm never able to elucidate this because I can't make it to that point because they're so focused on calling Uncle Tom.
A lot of guys, they trying to chimp out. Like, bro, I'm just trying to have a dollar conversation, so I really understand your perspective. Because, like I said, I feel like you're disingenuous, but you're telling me now, hey, I know these things. I know, So that's why
and I never get the chance to explain it because we don't even make it there because they're chimping out, going crazy, like you're just Uncle Tom, you're racist. They go into ad homs, but like, these are the problems, or they'll say you're not right, which is like I think that's comical too because like in the black community, this is why no one says anything because if you are, they'll say, well, you're not really black because you're a tether, you're from here, you can't talk about our problems.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, I'll tell you this because I understand that perspective. So it's more like this.
They're above criticism is my point. Unless you're black, they'll sit there and say you can't criticize us, which is like comical because the same white guy said that before, and I said he was chipping out too. He was like, you can't talk about this because you can't talk about our white because you're black. I'm like, shut up, idiot. I don't have to be a mathematician to say 1 + 1 is 2.
I'll tell you I get their perspective. They're basically saying this, right? Because given your ancestry, right? You're from Sudan, you're first generation immigrant, right? So you have no ancestry to the American slaves. So they're like, you don't understand. You have.
But you know what the crazy part is?
Yeah, no,
I do because I grew up here and I was born here.
Yeah.
So like I went through all and this is another reason too why like I'm so like unapologetic about this. I went through all the stereotypes. I've been followed around. I've been pulled over by the cops, and on top of that, I get the 9/11 jokes too. I get the Muslim jokes and I get the black jokes. So I got it from both sides. So like when people like sit there and say, well, you don't understand the black experience, whatever. I really understand it. That is why I am so gung-ho on telling young black men, do not fall for the propaganda that you're a victim. You can do better, and you have more opportunity now than ever before. And sometimes when you tell people, yo, the glass is full, it's not really as empty as these guys try to tell you, where it's systemic racism and you're being oppressed. Like, they really can be like, wait, you're telling me that I can do it? Yeah, bro, you can.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact,
the problem is just the access of education. To be honest, because once you get the knowledge, you realize everything. Because that's really the problem, is the lack of education. The community, we lack the education to,
and it's not encouraged either.
Yeah, it's not encouraged.
Like what we discussed before. I guarantee you got clowned all the time. You got good grades, and it's not encouraged in our community. That's a problem. In other communities, like you look at Indians, Asians, or whatever, them get a B and they're crying because they know their mom is gonna smack them when they go home. You get a B, they're like, nigga, you a bitch. What the fuck? I got a D. You should be getting a D like me. We need to go sell drugs. Good for the D. So it's like, that's what it is in the community. And like when I highlight this, they'll just say, you're an Uncle Tom, get the fuck out of here, or you don't understand experience. No, I really do, and that's why I am so unapologetic on this topic, because I'm praying that I can get through to guys that can listen to me, right? Like these brothers over here that understand that this is beyond race. Like me saying things that are offensive, that's to get your attention. But then hopefully, if you actually listen to what I got to say, which I appreciate you gave me the chance to do that, you'll see like, okay, we are actually agree on a lot of things here. Maybe your delivery's off.
I've been keeping up with you since 2020, brother. I've been keeping up, so I know the trolling thing with the and stuff like that. So like I get it. That's that's fugazi. So the direct conversation.
So he is a troll, like I said in the beginning. Good to know. So like, I guess when people watch his videos, maybe they shouldn't take him as serious, but he literally just admit to being a troll.
So, which is why like I came up here just to talk about that. Which I appreciate you, and that's all I wanted to say.
I appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you, bro. We need more conversations like that. Thank you. Smart brother right there.
That video was interesting, but this guy's funny. I think he might be a rage baiter. The type of nigga that rage baits is. Those niggas be killing me, man. Alright, give me a second. I need to call my nigga. Cause, oh, you sent me one. Send me one guy's video. Yo, bro.
Yo, you hear me on there? Yo. Yo, you hear
Yo,
me?
you need to say something.
Bro, like this, yeah,